What is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your daily tarot and astrology reading for Thursday, September 12th of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful week so far. Let's go ahead and hop into today's video, see what the cards say, see what the planets are doing, so we can see how you can be better prepared to navigate these celestial energies. Can't believe we're already almost halfway through September. Freaking wild. So, first card of the day. Well, we got this card recently. I have the Eight of Swords. But it is in reverse. This is nice. This is actually the releasing of some sort of bondage that you felt like you've been under. Some type of weight is being lifted off your shoulders, feeling like you're trapped by a particular circumstance. With this being in reverse, this is like you finally taking the blinders off and realizing that you're not nearly as trapped as you think you are. So let's see what else we have going on here. Well, I do have the Five of Pentacles upright. So it seems like what's being released is the feeling of lack and the feeling that you're not worth it. What I like about this card is that it does show like the butterfly that's entering into the space of that person who's just kind of down in the dumps. They even have a bit of an orb. There's an orb around the butterfly and there's an orb around that individual too. And that butterfly is entering into that space, encouraging a metamorphosis as far as the way that we feel, as far as the way that we think, as far as the way that we approach the world. So, a lot of people are feeling this. It's not even gonna lie. A lot of people are feeling Five of Pentacles energy. A lot of people are feeling like they feel like they lack purpose, they lack direction. Maybe they are feeling like, from like an actual standpoint, maybe they don't feel like they have enough money. Maybe they feel like they're not valued. But I think this is going to come down to like, are you seeking external validation or are you able to, appreciate and validate yourself? And I think that's really what this comes down to, right? So, but we're human. We do seek external validation. Let's just not sugarcoat it. But at some point, we have to be able to pick ourselves up and be able to give ourselves that validation and not go so much into a place of self-loathing. There's a lot of self-loathing going on right now, and you can feel it. It's kind of heavy. It's pretty intense, and like I said, people lack purpose. People lack drive. People are like sort of like, what's the point? Just because everything just seems so crazy right now. Everything is electrified. Everything is hyped up, hyperbole. And it's going to continue to do so. Now, we do have a lot of retrograde planets, so a lot of the energy is slowing down. So that could be part of it as well, is that like people are just feeling a lack of energy and lack of motivation because there's just not really a whole lot of energy that's moving forward right now. So the moon is going to shift into Cancer. Not Cancer. It's going to shift into Capricorn today, which of course is its detriment, right? And it does make some other aspects. I can't speak. It makes an opposition to Mars today. It also trines Mercury today. Maybe if I slow down and enunciate my words, you guys will understand what I'm saying. But this moon opposing Mars, which is going to happen very early in the day. Same with the trine over to Mercury. This is interesting. I talked about it in my weekly astrology horoscope. The moon being a Capricorn, now we're reacting and responding to more Capricornian things. Our legacy, the way that we kind of climbed the mountain, the way that we handle our responsibilities. And Mars in Cancer, of course, is I only want to take action when I feel comfortable. And that's the weird thing about this. These two planets there's involved in a mutual reception, meaning that they would rather be where the other planet is. Mars rather be exalted in Capricorn and the moon rather be in its domicile in Cancer. So it kind of lets you know, it's like, if we look at these different aspects of ourselves, or we just look at, if we even just what sort of look for, anthropomorphize these planets, right? Let's just do that. Mars can be like, hey, you're kind of where I want to be. You have something that I want, and I have something that you want. So let's work together. So it's like, that's the thing about this. Now it's an opposition, right? So the thing about this is that like, we have to, I guess, emotionally prepare ourselves to do the Capricornian thing, to do the hard thing. And even though we may not necessarily feel the most comfortable, it's going to be the thing that does ultimately set us free. Now, this moon is going to be in trine to this Mercury. And that's nice and positive, especially considering the fact that Mercury is going to be coming out of shadow today. So this will actually give way to some new thoughts, some new ideas, some new ideals too, especially when it comes to this Virgo energy. Of course, we still have the sun here. This is about how can we organize things better? How can we maybe even compartmentalize things better? How can we put things in their right place so that we can thrive? So that's kind of the nice thing about this, is that even though maybe emotionally we're probably not necessarily in the best place, and we can even get a little emotionally impulsive with that Mars in Cancer, right? The nice thing about this is that now that Mercury is going to be coming out of its shadow, we can finally start to organize a lot of the chaos that we have been experiencing from like a mental standpoint, maybe even an emotional standpoint, to where we can finally put things in the right place and see a different sort of outcome, if you will. We also will see the moon square the nodes. That's the only other aspect that the moon makes. And of course, these aspects don't really last that long whenever the moon is making an aspect. So, reacting and responding, in a more Capricornian way to whether we're going to go towards the North Node in Aries. So, simply being who you are, expressing who you are, not being afraid to be the warrior and to show up in life, or go the South Node Libra way where you are trying to, you could be overly giving, you can compromise your integrity and compromise who you are just to keep the peace. That's another part of this as well. Not saying that you need to just go in with guns blazing either, right? So we got to find that balance. This is squaring both of them. So we have to be able to find that balance between, okay, am I just going to go in guns blazing head first? Or if I'm going to just completely be, I'm not going to lie with Libras, sometimes y'all can let people steamroll y'all because y'all try to keep the balances up, but then y'all will gossip and stuff like that behind the scenes and shit, So it's like you don't want to get into that energy either. I think this is coming down to like, say yes when you mean yes, say no when you mean no, and stick to what you actually want to do. If you actually want to say yes, stick to that. If you want to say no, you stick to that, right? If you have a change of heart, stick to that, because that's kind of the cool thing about this, is that Mercury's now coming out of its shadow, giving new thoughts, giving rise to new thoughts, and the sun has already crossed this spot. So you very well could have a change of heart, right? That very well could happen. Be honest about it, right? And just, Virgo is about coming up with a plan. Moon trining Mercury and is about to trine the sun is about coming up with a plan, right? So, and I think right now it's like we may not necessarily have the full picture of said plan. We may not necessarily have the full details, but we're working on it, right? We're working on it. So I thought it was kind of crazy. Like, I don't want to get too much into the debate because I have my opinions on it. I think both candidates were dodging questions and they didn't actually answer a lot of questions. They both answered a little bit, but they didn't really answer a ton of questions, whatever like that. But I see a lot of people kind of laughing at Donald Trump saying he has a concept of a plan. And I'm like, well, shoot, Kamala basically said the same thing, just not in, not in the way that Trump said it. They both have concepts of a plan of how they're going to supposedly fix this country and shit. It's just that Trump said it in one way and Kamala said it in another way. But everyone's kind of hopping on Trump's case about it. It's like, oh, I have a concept of a plan. Shit, does anybody know what's going on right now? Let's just be real. Does anybody know what's going on? I think we're all kind of flying by the seat of our pants right now. So it's like, I'm not going to knock Trump for not having a full picture idea of what's going on, especially Mercury just not coming out of retrograde, especially with Uranus, Chiron, Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto still retrograde, especially with Pluto going back into Capricorn, mind you, revealing secrets and hidden shit. So, no, I don't think either one of them has a full concrete plan. And I'm not going to get pissed off about it. I'm not going to make fun of them for it either. The only thing I'll make fun of is the fact that everyone's coming down on Trump about it when Kamala is the same fucking way. I honestly, after last night, I don't really give a fuck about either. So I might slightly lean one way, but I honestly don't care at this point. I wasn't too impressed with either side last night. Ultimately, it's because I know that if I want my life to be better, I have to take personal responsibility and personal accountability for bettering my life and not outsourcing it to someone else that A, doesn't even know me, right? And B, can't do the spiritual work for me, because that's ultimately what it comes down to. So no one can do the spiritual work for you. Nobody can do the work for you. So, and we don't want to bypass in these moments, right? So that's pretty much what's going on astrologically, because like I said, there's not really a whole lot going on now for the rest of the day. It's just going to be the moon kind of building up to some of these other aspects, as well as the other planets building up to some of these other aspects. So as far as the rest of the cards go, though, I have the Knight of Pentacles upright. I love this card as the final card, because the Knight of Pentacles definitely speaks to taking action, but having that methodical approach. It's not rushing into things. This is not Knight of Swords. It's not it's not about getting emotionally wrapped up and involved with it. That's Knight of Cups. It's not about just taking action for action's sake. Knight of Wands. It's the Knight of Pentacles. It's about having a structured and, grounded approach, but still taking the action that you need to take. And that's where we have to go right now. It may not be perfect. You may not be able to see all the way up the staircase, right? But it's about taking those necessary steps, and also to get out of the self-loathing. To get out of the self-loathing and to realize that you are much more valuable than you give yourself credit for. But no one ultimately is going to give you that validation. You have to be able to give that to yourself. I have the card of Alchemy. I don't even really want to read the description at the bottom, because I think that today is just about being the alchemist. That whatever energy that you're given, if you're feeling a negative energy or something like that that's not as positive, you can take that and convert it into something else. I'm not saying to ignore your emotions or to put them down, whatever like that. But if you find yourself constantly wallowing and you can't get out of this state, you can perform alchemy. And there are different ways to do it. There are different tools. Some of the ways that I do it to perform alchemy: music, dance, laughter, right? Smiling, looking at funny animal videos, like funny cat videos. There are ways to pick yourself out of these energies. And then when you can pick yourself out of that energy and then you get to a higher vibration, it gives you a different vantage point to address whatever it is that made you upset. And then it doesn't have to hurt you or harm you or detain you for so long. You can deal with it and then you can move on. So today, be the alchemist. That's going to do it for your daily tarot and astrology reading for this Thursday, September 12th of 2024. I trust that this message will assist you on your journey today. Y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful day, and I will see you all on the next video. Peace.